It's going, whatever happens this weekend is going to allow us to put aside fear and remember that transitions are prerequisites for growth, right? So we are going to honor that sacred space, our creative sexual energy within us, and it's going to lead us into these next 1 to 6 months into a period of gestation, to move on from things that we have been indecisive about, and it's a mysterious shift, it's personal growth. It's, things can happen quickly at this time, could come in where you don't initially understand it, but it's going to allow you to nurture yourself in the process. So let's see what to expect in the energies for this weekend. Yeah, wherever, Seven of Swords. So wherever you've been thinking in your mind or envisioning, like, you're feeling guarded. It could be a situation where you feel you almost have to walk on eggshells, right? There's a feeling of like almost protecting yourself and being strategic and maybe working on some type of escape plan. Maybe, it could be you feeling deceived or you keeping things under wraps until you have an escape plan. Whatever situation you're in, please apply that energy. But this weekend is going to allow you, moving into the next 6 months, this energy can last. It's going to allow you to speak up what used to be unspeakable, right? You're going to start watching more your health and where your toxic environments you're around. Could be family, friends. It could be substances that you're putting in your body, fake news that you're watching. It could be music that's just negative and angry that you're listening to. But you're going to be able to navigate the way forward as you approach this next cycle coming in. It's going to bring in whatever this new moon starts to activate within you. It's going to allow some balance, some productive self-care and mindfulness to savor the moment. You're going to be more present, right? Let's pull a few more tarot cards. It's like managing. You're going to see things. You're going to see things in your environment, whether you're in this situation or not, where there's a lack of fair distribution of power. It's one-sided. So this new moon and this partial solar eclipse is coming in with some energy that's going to balance justice and compassion and give more clarity. It may not happen exactly on Saturday, but it's going to click. Where you've been overly giving with the Queen of Pentacles here, being overly generous, and because you're such a family, home-oriented light being, and you want everyone to succeed, you may be not being able to trust yourself. Where because you've been betrayed before, these things are going to come up to the surface. Basically, they're going to come up so that way you can learn to trust where you're giving and the reciprocation of it. You're going to, this is going to be questioned, especially if you're a parent. I feel like, there's a lack of peace within a family dynamic or situation. You guys just can't seem to move to calmer waters with the Seven of Swords here, right? Like, and I think you feel like you have to hold the family together for some reason. And you have two different, like for this specific person, I'm seeing someone who has 2 children. They're grown, and one is is established pretty much, but still getting on their 2 feet, and another one is sensitively, creatively, emotional, and artistic, and they're both in alignment with what their dreams and creative flow is. But you don't feel safe in it. So that's something that you're trying to cut through. And, this martyrdom, this savior complex is going to come to the surface for this specific person that I'm tuned into right now. And it's created some type of codependency. And like I said, these children are grown. So you don't feel tapped in. You don't feel free from a situation that you just keep giving. So that's one scenario. I'm going to pull a few more for, this is very intense. My readings are always intense, but, I feel like a lot of the energy coming in has to do with a lot of us looking at how we help others in need, and if we have expectations of, having something given back or in return. Like it's like cutting the umbilical cord. That's what I'm hearing with how we nurture our friendships, connections, relationships overall. These are things we're gonna be looking at starting this weekend, so that it can harmonize better, right? That the universe will break things down before it can start to allow new patterns, new cycles to start, right? The crumbling of old belief systems, toxic behaviors, patterns, generational, repeated cycles. Like, these are things we're meant to move out of. And one way that our soul matures, the maturation process, or the rebirth, you want to call it, is our soul is trying to evolve, right? And the heart and the mind and the soul may not be in alignment. So that is what this weekend is going to start to make you look at your fears of making the wrong choice. Your instincts are going to bring you clarity. So really trust that at this time. Let's pull a few more for this weekend. Yeah, right? 9 of Swords in reverse. So that tells me, you're burnt out. It tells me you're, it's like a restless energy to the Knight of Swords in reverse. There's an unpredictable disregard for consequence here, and it's keeping you in this old, the devil is lived, spelled devil backwards is lived, right? It's old energy that has to go, and that's what we've been talking about here. So let's clarify that, Liv. It's whatever the old energies that really keep you bound to your situations, to your way of being and living, are going to come up to the surface for you to, if you have an addictive personality, the divine is going to send in some energies and help so that you can make a concerted effort to overcome, such behaviors or obsessions of any kind, to avoid overindulgence. And that's clarified by the 9 of Cups here, coming out of your comfort zone. So you're going to be reevaluating and reassessing where there's a lack of balance with your home life, your work life, your play life, where you're prone to excess in all these areas. And I think you're going to get start to gain a better understanding of these hidden causes of any compulsive actions that doesn't bring you peace, right? So a lot of this is releasing self-defeating programming, and to deprogram, again, we need a breakdown. There is, it's no decision is a decision. Just not doing anything is a decision. So this new moon energy is gonna take us out of our comfort zone, and we're going to be able to kind of purify our heart, mind, and soul, so that way we can stop fearing intimate unions with ourselves. So in other words, your relationship to your higher self, God, source, the divine, is calling you in, so that way you can start to master a lot of your emotions and be able to conquer these addictions, these doubts, fears, insecurities, anxiety, and that will only enhance and revive your soul. And then you start to attract that similar energy to you, and you won't feel stuck. You won't feel like limited where you are. And and that you can change your belief systems. You can change your reality. You are a manifester, a master manifester, and it requires tapping into our inner joy and a little bit of purification, a little bit of solitude, so that we can be present and see things and start to take care of ourselves. 11:11 on the clock, as I said that. So let's pull a quick advice card for the weekend energies. So it's a deep, really refreshing, rejuvenating new moon and partial solar eclipse energy for all of us. It's going to bring in some, you got perspective. It's going to allow us to shift perspective and allow us to tune into our inner compass, to take that moment, to catch our breath and not panic and look around and start to trust ourselves. And in the end, we're always going to find our way. You know, sometimes in life things become outdated or out of our focus, but this is the prime time to truly look at our lives from a whole new perspective. And I think this new moon in Aries, coming from an Aries, is going to be exciting and internal and deep for a lot of us that are trying to rebirth a new reality. And if you need a further reading, email me and book a